That brings me to my fifth point. The most important thing that I did with my hair was Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I just wanted to share some tips on how I grew long 4B/4C hair. I no longer have kinky hair. I actually got a Gina Curl curly perm. Before getting that curly perm, I was natural all my life for 23 years, and then I decided to get a perm for the first time just because I wanted something different and change. But yes, I was able to grow my hair from shoulder length to waist length. Back in the day, just looked up a whole bunch of YouTube videos and was really determined and dedicated to grow my hair long. So I just want to talk about the 5 steps that I took, 5 things that I did that I feel like helped me grow my hair to waist length ultimately. Step number 1, first thing that I actually did was I stopped putting heat in flat irons and all that stuff on my hair. When I was younger, I literally would get a wash and set at the beauty salon every 2 weeks. They would put the rollers in my hair, I would sit under the dryer, and then they would blow dry it straight, and then after that they would just put a flat iron. So even though I was natural and I've been natural my whole life, I was a straight natural pretty much. I never wore my hair in its natural state, like, ever. But once the natural hair community and all the videos and stuff started popping up, then I started taking care of my hair and wearing it more in its natural state. I got heat damage a few times. Instead of just like cutting off, and it was pretty bad too, but instead of just kind of like cutting all my hair off, I decided that I would just cut it off little by little on the ends. And then I would also use, when I did get that heat damage, I used the Afro-G protein treatment. And I think I use that maybe like once a month or whatever it says on the instruction bottle. And I feel like that really helps bring my hair back to life. Even though I had those straight pieces, after a while doing the protein treatments and then cutting off the ends little by little, my hair was pretty much back to normal. Only time I got heat damage was when I tried to flat iron my hair myself, or when I had a friend that doesn't know how to do hair try to flat iron it. And that's when I had to use the Afro-G and try to revive my hair. And eventually it did come back. So yeah, no heat. But I don't mean like ever, because obviously people like to switch their hair up. I got to a point where I was only straightening my hair 1 to 2 times a year. It would be in the winter time only, because in the summertime it was too hot and I would sweat out my hair in 2.5 seconds. So it would be usually in the fall or the winter when it was cooler outside. Minimizing heat as much as possible is very important. Step 2, the next thing that I did to grow my hair long was I was gentle with my hair. Kinky natural hair is fragile. When I was younger, I was not taking care of my hair in a gentle way. Like, I'll just be raking through it with a brush, with a comb, like just doing anything, just acting crazy. What I decided to do was I decided to cut out brushes and combs out of my hair. I know there was people were talking about the Denman brush and the wide tooth comb and stuff, and I tried that for a little bit, but I still felt like it was too harsh on my hair. So I cut out combs and brushes completely for a long period of time, and I was just finger detangling my hair. And I feel like me taking the time to sit there, it took forever. It took hours. But in the end, I retained all of that length because I wasn't raking through my hair and brushing through it all kinds of crazy ways. So I would just finger detangle, take my time, and I'll be real gentle. I'm not saying completely cut out, you know, brushes and combs out of your routine. Eventually, I did start using a paddle brush. I felt like the paddle brush kind of clumped my curls better than a comb does, and it just felt a little smoother when I was doing it. So eventually I got comfortable again with using a brush. But definitely pay attention to if your hair is like making cracks and popples and cracks and crackles pops and crackles. Oh my gosh, if your hair is making pops and crackles and stuff because of the way you're brushing it, you want to make sure you're starting from the bottom going to the top and you're being as gentle as possible. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3, moisturize your hair. Please moisturize your hair. Our hair tends to get dry, real dry, and we all know that. I was moisturizing my hair. I was doing the lock method, all this other stuff. None of that really matters. I feel like the only thing I really needed was a good oil and a good leave-in conditioner and some water. That's all you need. Every time your hair feels dry, you need to moisturize. That's at least once a week, at least. Doing it less than once a week, that's a little crazy. It's also important for you to moisturize your hair while your hair is in braids, which is kind of hard to do. If you can, water bottle, add some leave-in, oil, water, shake it up, and just like spray your hair, spray your edges, just to make sure it's moisturized if you're wearing braids or protective styles for an extended period of time. Tip number 4. trim your ends. Okay, we know this. Trim your ends. I got worse with that once I was natural. Because the thing is, I went to the beauty salon every 2 weeks. And they would trim my hair at the beauty salon, and my mom would be there with me, and she would make sure, you know, they not cutting off too much because they would get scissor happy sometimes. And so I would get my hair trimmed often. The line of demarcation where you see the ends are dead and where you see your hair is healthy, you can see that best when the hair is straightened or blown out. So I feel like that's the best time to straighten your hair. So I was pretty good with that. Once I became natural and I stopped putting heat on my hair so often, I started doing once a year, it's like, I can feel that my ends were a little dry and dead, but I can never actually see how bad it was because my hair wasn't in a stretched out state. So that kind of got worse. And then what I would do was I would put my hair in 2-strand twists all around, and then I would just kind of like cut the end of the twist and hope for the best kind of thing. I was dusting a lot too, if you guys heard of what dusting is. But also what I was doing was I was doing a search and destroy method, and I had a lot of time on my hands back then. I looked up what split ends look like. I searched for them in my hair, and I would literally cut off split ends that I found, like off of one strand of hair. I would recommend just like doing the twist method that I was talking about, where you twist your hair and then you cut off a little bit of the end. The whole thing about growing hair, guys, is retaining length. Our hair is not gonna grow any faster than it already is. So what you have to do is retain the length from what is growing out of your scalp. And the best way to retain your length, moisturizing, trimming, and leaving it alone. And that brings me to my 5th point. The most important thing that I did with my hair was I left it alone. People were saying, you know, do these twist outs, do these braid outs, do that and the third. And I was experimenting with all that. But eventually I got to a point where I was like, one, it takes a lot of time and my hair would take forever to dry. And the worst part is when you go and do a braid out and twist out and you gotta be somewhere the next day and you take it out and you looking like it's a mop on your head. Like, it looks crazy. My hair, I'll take it out and it's still not dry. I'm like, bro, now what am I supposed to do? Like, so what I did was I started wearing weaves and I started wearing wigs. And let me tell you why this is important. The weaves I would wear for at least 2.5 months. Sometimes I would go even push it to 3. That is important because I feel like the longer you don't touch your hair, the less of a chance you have for breakage to happen and for hair to just be coming out of your head. Even though people would say, like, make sure you have a good amount of breaks in between your protective styles, which I feel like is important. You might get alopecia or something from just traction on your hair or pulling. But I would get a weave, wear it for 2.5 to 3 months, take it out, leave it out for maybe a week, max 2, get another weave. 2.5 to 3 months, take it out, get a good wash in, make sure I really, you know, clean all the dirt out, leave it out for a week, and then do it all over again. And that is literally the most important thing I did to retain length. Me getting the weaves back to back to back in a cycle, and then at the end of the year get my hair straightened to see how long it was, chef's kiss. I'm telling y'all, if y'all haven't tried that, I definitely think that you should try it. Weaves can be expensive, but if it's not a weave, just find a style that lasts at least 2 months and then just try to get that back to back to back. When I stopped worrying about my hair so much, when I stopped touching it, that's when it grew. And it's crazy because it grew like really fast too. When I say really fast, not faster than usual, but it felt like it was growing really fast because every time I would take out the weave, boom, like 2 inches of hair. When you put your hair away, the time goes like this. If you have it out, be checking it all the time, checking the length and stuff. But if you just put it away, you leave it alone, and you don't think about it, your hair gonna be to your butt. Leave it alone. The key to success. All right, y'all, so that's my 5 tips on how I grew my hair to waist length. Obviously, my hair is different from other people's hair, and what worked for me might not work for you, but I would say give it a try. The best thing you can do is just figure out what your hair likes, what your hair can tolerate, and then go from there. I hope you're able to reach your hair length goals in 2022. We out of here.